What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself, and today is the return of Rain World, a game I've checked out a handful of times, well, a couple of times, and these were requested by Shy Guy 609. Today we have Kayava and Threat Sky Islands from the channel Black Screen Records, and these are from James Primate. All I know about this game is that it's vaguely in the world of a Metroidvania, sort of, but I've heard some comments say that it's not, but it's kind of like the closest thing. It's a really bizarre soundtrack, and I'm going to do something a little different this time, just because I feel like it. I don't know. I'm just not going to talk. I am just going to kind of listen to them. I don't know if they're connected. I have no context. So yeah, I'm just going to listen to them. That's it. And try to hold my thoughts until the end. Starting off with Kayava. Well, that was fun. That is a bold type of song where repetition is the focal point right? The whole thing was just revolving around this bass line. Dum, 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 dum. The whole thing was just revolving around. And I loved how, like, I don't know what the term is, like, just like sounded spanky and kind of like funky, right? It's got this like warpy sound to the bass. Very, very cool. Very, very simple. That sounds like something you could just jam forever, which is funny because to the right, where it has all the recommended videos, it says, the first one I see is Rain World Kayava 1 hour loop. Yeah, that makes sense. I could totally hear that for an hour. It sounds like it's like perfectly made to just continuously loop forever. And now that I think about it, I think all songs I've heard from Rain World have that feel. So I don't know if these stages are just very long, maybe you get lost in them. And yeah, that's really the only thing I can think of. Right? You're just there for a very long time. You're just set exploring as soon as you, like, let's see, this is a, because again, since I heard that it's sort of like a Metroidvania, immediately the last thing I think of is the most recent game I played, which has been Hollow Knight. So my brain is immediately going into that, like, okay, so you drop into this, you either walk into a new section or you drop into it, or jump up into one, and then I can imagine hearing dum, 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 dum. And then you're just there forever, like exploring for an hour or so until you get to what you need to. Although this one, though, it sounded to me, even though it did sound repetitive, it sounded to me like there was some movement with it. Like, as in, like the game is forcing you to move, or, you know what I mean? Like, you're not just freely exploring your character. It feels like you can, like, you're being, like the screen is moving, or you're being, you know, like something like movement, I guess is the only way I can put it. It sounds a little linear, and it has this kind of rhythm of not standing still, I guess is the only way I can put it. Not so much a chase or a, what's the word I'm even thinking of here? It's like a, I don't know, it'll come to me, but that's what I kept getting. So if I had to guess, Kayava is just a location in this game. I don't know, but that was great though. That was just fantastic. I love the simplicity of it. Repetition is not a bad thing. It's just another artistic choice. That was great. Okay, this one's a lot shorter. It's not my first time I heard a threat song, but I don't remember exactly what it means. I'm pretty sure it relates to like enemies being on screen, but I don't remember. Anyways, Sky Islands. And again, I don't know why these two were chosen together, but Sky Islands. I have a feeling there's going to be some drony chords in this one. Let's go. Never mind. It's a little jarring of a chord progression. That's cool. This kind of reminds me of Fury a little bit. A lot of staccato notes here. Very like poking at you. It sounds like bee stings. And then the chords in the background are also. It sounds very like horror film. That's cool. I love that sound. just ends. I feel like I've asked this question before, but I'm gonna ask it again. Why do the threat ones just end like that? There's a reason. I think that might actually be the actual ones that are meant to repeat. In my experience doing this, when they have just kind of like a cutoff like that, it's meant to loop for a long time. I don't remember. I think this is like a really good soundtrack to recommend to anyone who's into anything electronic music, but especially really keyboard heavy. I feel like everything in the soundtrack was composed by a keyboard. Like the percussion, the keys, of course, the bass, everything sounds like it's like on a like an Arturia kind of like mini keyboard or something, and just a bunch of patches, and it just sounds really. From what I'm gonna guess is that James Premi is kind of everything. Does all the mixing, mastering, and the engineering. Pretty sure, right? It just is composed, but I'm pretty sure. Like it sounds like. What the heck? I just noticed something. Did I notice this before? Developed by Video Cult, published by Adult Swim Games. Did I notice that before? I just expanded the to see if it has any more information about James, but Adult Swim Games. They made games. Okay, well that's for another day. Okay. I think if you were to, this is what I'm saying, but you can show this to like an EDM fan. If you were to just go to like, I don't know, to some club or a rave or whatever, and then you would just like to throw this in there without telling anyone, like just kind of throw in the threat Sky Islands, no one would bat an eye. It's got that swing to it, and it's got like you can move to it. But it also to me sounds more in video game context, it sounds like it's a it kind of gives me the same feeling as the last song where it's like movement, but instead of movement it's more of like I don't want to say conflict, but it definitely feels like okay, I know what I'm gonna say. It's more of like a presence of a large quantity. So when I think threat, I don't think of like one-on-one altercation. I think of multiple, like ganging up on me kind of thing. That's what I'm getting at, because it sounds like every stab of the instruments, dun 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 dun, sounds like swings coming from this side, and then bass, boom 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 over here. All these little things sound like attacks coming from different angles. I know it's really like descriptive, but that's how my brain works sometimes. Sometimes I get like nothing. It depends on the song. Every reaction is different, I don't have a clear-cut way of reacting. That's kind of doesn't make sense. It's very human to have all these different, at least for me, I have a pretty vivid imagination. So I never know how each one of these is going to go. But to me, I'm seeing multiple attacks coming this way. And yeah, I don't know. But overall, I'll notice, one thing I noticed about Rain World is that the whole soundtrack so far, regardless of what's playing, has this atmosphere of just like dread. There's this, not creepy. For example, Hollow Knight has a constant creepiness to it. For this one, it's dark. It's dark, not in an evil sense, but the tonalities are dark, the bass lines are dark, the key signatures are dark. It's really like, I'd be surprised if there's any lighthearted anything in this. Maybe there is, maybe in the form of an Easter egg or some kind of funny character, but to me it feels like, okay, here's an example. If you guys have ever played the game Inside, right? It's the same people that made Limbo. Limbo? Yeah. Inside, which is a great game, by the way. It's very short too, you can beat it in like 2 hours or something. If you ever play that game, that's what I'm talking about. That whole atmosphere of just like, ooh, and there's never any moment of like, haha, or even like a light shining. It's just always just this constant kind of looking over your shoulder type of thing. So that's what I get from it. I think as far as that's it for Rain World requests. I don't think I have any more. So let me know what other songs you think I should hear, but someone's gonna request them. Anyways, that's it. Cool. Awesome. Very unique soundtrack. It's different. Man, you pull out the sunglasses. That's kind of rare. So, thank you to Shy Guy, to all everyone you see on screen. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse in the Auditorium. Peace.